Och så har vi fått besked om att Uppdrag Granskning kommer ut med ett program den 3 februari. Den tredje i ordningen inom ett år. Så varför står vi här och pratar för?
Först när man tittar på helheten, den hela globala mjölkkrisen med efterfrågan som har fallit bort i Kina och i Ryssland och den större produktionsökning vi ser i hela Europa efter kvoterna släpptes, har lett till en jättebesvärlig situation för ägare i mjölkpriset. Så det är jätteintressant för att det är så en stor industri att berätta om det. Så UG1 och UG2 som vi brukar säga på kontoret var mycket fokuserat på mjölkbönderna, på Arlas roll att skapa efterfrågan och en bättre lönsamhet. Men den tredje program ska tala om Arlas kostnader och Arlas kostnadskultur på huvudkontor, och det är helt baserat på en undersökning jag började själv som UG har tagit hand om.
Ja, för det är ju en hel saker som har hänt, och det är väl bra om du redogör lite grann ifrån när du faktiskt började på Arla. Vad är det för någonting som har hänt sedan dess just rörande detta?
Jättebra. Så i januari 2014 när jag började var min första uppgift att skapa volymtillväxt, och det var enormt viktigt för Arla. Men efter några månader började jag gräva lite djupare och upptäckte jag också att det fanns mycket kostnader inom Arla vi kunde ta bort. Så vi började med en små undersökningsgrupp att titta på många olika besparingsmöjligheter i början av 2014 och jobbade hela året och började implementering i 15. En jättebra resultat var att vi lyckades redan i 2015 att bespara 10 miljoner inom resekostnader, representation, utbildningar, många olika andra kostnader. Men som sagt förut, tyvärr landade vårt undersökning och rapport på kontoret i Uppdrag Granskning, och de inte sa det tack, men de använde det materialet för en tredje program att tala faktiskt om vårt kostnadsmedvetenheten i Arla i Sverige.
Så vilka åtgärder har vi då vidtagit för att sänka kostnaderna?
Jag har gjort en hel del som ni kan nu se på filmen, för att det fanns inte några jättesmå summor. Det var faktiskt mycket jobb i många olika områden vad vi måste effektivisera, från resekostnader till bilkostnader till representation till interna konferenser, externa konferenser och mycket mer effektivitet i många primära processer inom Arla. Första resultatet var jag stolt över är att vi redan i 2015 besparade 10 miljoner SEK inom alla denna områden. Jag kan lova det bara den första steg vi har tagit, för att det finns mycket mer att göra.
Har det här gjort att vi har förändrat några rutiner, eller vad har det gett mer för konsekvenser?
Absolut, så det fanns många rutiner som inte fungerade jättebra. Vi införde en nytt kreditkortpolicy, en nytt bokningssystem för alla resor och attestering från kostnader, men också rutiner inom små saker som är viktigt med representation, med interna konferenser som vi säger vi måste behålla här i kontoret. När det är en mindre grupp och vi kan ta det här in i kontoret till firande för 50-60 års jubileum. Att vi inte ska ha guldklockan i Grand Hotel längre, men bara fira på en små sätt i mejerierna och huvudkontor när människor har jobbat 25 år för Arla. Och alla små grejerna tillsammans hjälper oss att bli mer effektivt som Arla och bespara pengarna så att vi kan skapa den högst möjliga mjölkpris här i Sverige.
Och så har det pratats en del i media om dyr representation, om alkohol, och vad handlar det här om?
Alkohol och representation är mest när vi går ut i restauranger med kunderna som vi jobbar med och som är en viktig del av Arla i vårt försäljning till den professionella sidan inom Arla. Så vi måste förstå och ta hand om deras business. Och det betyder också att vi besöker deras restauranger. Men min uppfattning var att vi var för ofta på den dyra restaurangen och vi företräder det från en snabbmatföretag till pizzerior till den bästa restaurangen som finns. Och där måste vi anpassa vår kostnadskultur och hur vi jobbar med den branschen till en mycket bättre balans mellan alla olika delarna i branschen. Så där var jag inte nöjd hur vi jobbade med det, och det har vi anpassat och gav jättebra riktlinjer till folk som jobbar i den delen. Jag måste också säga att det var en små del i hela Arla vad det händer och vad vi fortfarande hade en kultur som var kanske mer 90-talet än 2015-16. Men där anpassar vi oss och det har vi redan gjort.
En del i programmet som vi kommer få se här är ju när Uppdrag Granskning tar upp om en resa som DLF arrangerade. Och vad har du för tankar och kommentarer kring det?
Ja, jag tror att det blir nästan en personlig angrepp från Uppdrag Granskning mot mig, och till en viss del är det bra för jag vet det. Jag har ansvar för allt som händer. Jag tror också att det blir ett ansvar att förändra Arla i helheten. Nu fick Uppdrag Granskning alla mina kreditkortuppgifter, alla mina kostnader på min kostnadsställe. Och de har försökt att hitta grejerna som kan ge mjölkljus på mig. Det var en resa till Paris var jag var inbjuden tillsammans med min fru. DLF är en branschorganisation där vi besöker en annan land att få inspiration från andra butiker, en annan mejerilandskap till exempel. Jag jobbade på fredag, jag jobbade på lördag morgon och på lördag kväll var det en officiellt middag med alla respektiven. Och på söndag morgon flög jag tillbaka med Air Berlin till Stockholm. Den är den endaste de har hittat på mig personligt, och de ska försöka att bevisa att jag har en nöjesresa med min fru till Paris. När de ringde mig om det insåg jag att det kan se dåligt ut. Både med våra ägare men också med allmänheten. Så jag beslutade själv att betala den resan. Det var bara resekostnader. Allt annat blir betalt av DLF. Jag betalade det själv för jag vill stå utanför den diskussionen och bli en ledare som visar själv att man kan göra grejerna så billigt som möjligt.
Så vad händer nu?
Vad händer nu? Det är viktigt för mig att vi har öppenhet och transparens som vi har informerat er ägare hela tiden, som vi har talat om i Dagens Industri, om vårt kostnadsnivå. Så igen vill jag att ni säger alla om den intervju jag gör i december för UG, att ni säger helheten, inte bara de klipp de har använt. Så säg det som en möjlighet att ni kan titta på hela intervju och få hela bild från alla frågorna som vi fick. Jag gjorde det på engelska för att jag ville bli helt säker att jag svarade 100% rätt, och min svenska är okej. Men inte så bra att jag inte måste använda mycket från min hjärnkapacitet när jag försöker tala svenska. Så därför gjorde jag det på engelska, men jag tror det går att förstå vad jag svarade.
Please.
And
Can you put this?
under me. I can.
Yeah. Can you open?
Of course. Depends how much you want it to be open. Like this, or completely down.
Okay.
I can do it completely.
No, it's okay. So.
But do you want it lower or not? You want below here?
Yeah, you can open. Okay. Just put it here.
Yeah. Can I also close this one, or?
No. Can you have it open? Or? No.
It looks so stupid or not? Guys?
Can you close it?
It's okay.
We can close it.
Good.
Good.
Okej.
Yes? We sit here?
Jag tänkte så här, eftersom vi ändå har pratat på telefon och jag vet ju att du förstår
Yes.
svenska, så kan jag ställa mina frågor på svenska och så kan du svara på engelska. Är det bra?
Yeah, that's a little bit more complicating, I think, but
Jag tror vi klarar det.
yeah,
Då blir du mer bekväm och jag blir mer bekväm.
yeah.
Ja,
Do we agree with that? I think so. Yes.
super.
Varsågod.
But it's sometimes maybe when you use a term which I don't completely understand that we would have to.
Men då får vi försöka
Ja.
förklara.
Yes.
Ja. När vi skickade våra frågor till er för några dagar sedan så gick du ut i Dagens Industri, en debattartikel där du erkände vissa av de missförhållanden som vi hade pekat på. Hur kommer det sig att du gjorde det?
Well, I started in 2014 to work for Arla, and after a few months, I realized that we were not using the money of the farmers everywhere in the best possible way. So I started actually in, I think, just before the summer of 2013 with a big cost investigation, and we started actually to implement a lot of the findings already in the beginning of 2015. Then you know that the milk price really went quite low and that our owners really have a tough time. And I used the debate article to really also show to our owners that we're taking action and that we have a cost report which is taking actions to address these things. And I think we also both realized that you got our cost report plus a lot of the attachments. So I felt it was really important to talk to our owners and show that we are doing something here in Sweden on the cost side to help them in these difficult times.
Så det var inte för att avleda då från andra betydligt värre missförhållanden som du inte nämnde i din debattartikel?
Now, I would say there's a lot of things we need to fix and improve in Arla. We've come a long way since 2014, and I'm happy to say that already on the cost side, but also in the cost culture, we have been able to, how should I say that, to change quite a lot of the culture in large parts of the organization. But there's still a lot of work to do, and I cannot say that I'm happy or that we are ready with that. This was specifically on the cost. I didn't talk about other parts, other things in Arla, but I also work a lot on people, on the cost in the factories. I mean, it's a broad program which I'm executing, which is called our 2020 strategy, which is much broader than just the cost side of it.
Om vi ska prata lite mer då om specifikt vissa detaljer här. En hög chef som jobbar här har åkt taxi för över 35 000 kronor bara i Stockholm under mindre än ett år. Samtidigt som hon har en leasingbil betald av er för ungefär 8 000 i månaden. Hur är det kostnadseffektivt?
It's not at all cost-effective. I think you saw the same conclusions we drew from our report from 2014, and we came to the same conclusion as you. When somebody has a lease car to its availability and using so much taxi, that is clearly a signal of poor cost consciousness. So when I talk about creating a cost culture and people really understanding that we're handling over here the money of farmers, then this is a very good, or let's say poor, example of what you don't expect from people. And that also shows that I don't only have an external job to do and communicate with people, but also here internally I need everybody in Arla to understand that this is a even specific situation or a specific company. We work here day in, day out with the money of farmers, and not anonymous shareholders. These are farmers who at the moment have a very tough time.
Men hur kunde det här få fortgå?
Yeah, it's a signal of a cost culture which was not good, and that's why I started in 2014 when I started. I started in January more or less, and after a few months I have interviewed about 60 people in Ireland to get a feeling of where are the strengths, but also where are our weaknesses. And this was one of the things which I picked up, that I didn't get a feeling that we had a cost culture which I expected to find in a company which is owned by farmers. And that's why I started after the initial times, just before the summer, after the summer, I started with this cost investigation. And this is one thing which came out of our cost investigation, but I actually have something like 30, 40 things which were not okay. A lot of them we started to address already in 2015 by setting much tighter policies. We have saved 10 million SEK, I'm proud of that. So 10 million SEK in travel, in conferences, but also in, I think in English you say entertainment, but it's representation, so restaurants, etc. But I cannot say that I'm happy with what we have achieved, because there's more to do.
Ja, det verkar ju inte som ni har haft någon som helst kontroll över det här med, jag menar, hon har ju åkt taxi för ibland 4 gånger per dag. Åkt in till stan med sin leasingbil, parkerat på er bekostnad, gått ut på representation och sedan tagit en taxi hela vägen hem. Alltså, varför kunde hon inte ta sin leasingbil då?
Yeah, we both know also from the debate article and follow-up that saving 10 million SEK in a company of this size, that a lot has happened in order to save costs. So you cannot state as a fact that we don't have control. But I'm the first one to agree. No, I'm the first one to agree with you that there are parts in the organization still where we don't have achieved a cost culture which you should expect from a dairy-owned company, and this is one of the good examples. I don't say that people are forbidden to take a taxi when they have had a late night representation in town, if that is adding value to the company. But this is an excessive amount, and that is something which is not acceptable. I would expect people to think when they are using the money of our owners when they're making these kind of decisions.
Om vi ska fortsätta prata om leasingbilar då, så hade du ju själv 2 leasingbilar.
3 even.
Till och med 3 leasingbilar under flera månaders tid. Hur kommer det sig?
Well, when I joined here in the beginning of 2014, I got a car which was available as a, how do you call it, MD, VD car, which was an Audi Q7, I think, big car. And after 3 weeks, I felt that was inappropriate. We are again not a company which is stock listed. This is a company which is owned by 13,000 Arla farmers in 7 countries. I felt very uncomfortable to drive such a car when I'm meeting farmers at their meeting. So after a few weeks, I asked for that car to be terminated. So we terminated the lease contract, and I drove around I think 2 months in a car which was standing in the garage, which was a car which came back from an säljare, how do you say that, a salesperson. It was a Volvo, and I drove over that car until the moment that I got the Volvo which I ordered. That old one was going out of lease. So I got a Volvo X.
Men det var ju 2 bilar som kördes samtidigt.
No, I didn't. So I got a key from the temporary Volvo from an HR manager, and when my own Volvo came, I handed back the car. I think what you have seen is that there were 2 cars booked on my cost center. So the other Volvo was standing in the garage, and it was not used by me. I can reassure you, I've all the time only had 1 car which I've been driving.
För 2 bilar och så har den ena stått still.
No, so you were just into the taxi cost. I mean, it is good that if there is a car which has still 3 or 4 months to go, that we have a spare car here in the garage for people who don't have a company car but still have to travel. So one example at the moment is somebody who needs to travel often to Falköping. He has no entitlement for a car, but he can use then a car which is going out of date, and that's cheaper than renting a car 4 or 5 times a month. The only mistake we made is that it should not have been booked on my cost center but on a general cost center, because I agree with you with all the information you got. I mean, apparently you have got all the information from my cost center, all my credit card transactions. You have seen that this is something which was booked on my cost center, but it was not an expense. I've only had 1 car all the time.
Okej, men det verkar ju inte speciellt kostnadseffektivt att ha det i alla fall under så lång tid.
Now there were a few more months to go on that car. So if that car is standing in the garage and it is being used by other people, then you prevent hiring cost of cars. I mean, you probably also use a hired car when you need to travel in Sweden, and if that car is already being paid for and it's expensive to cancel the lease contract, then it's better to do it like this.
Okej, vi går vidare.
Ja.
När det kommer till användningen av era företagskort, som ju en hel del av era anställda har, så har vi ju sett att det förekommer poster ganska ofta som ser ut att vara av helt privat karaktär. Vad är er policy när det kommer till det?
Well, this is a very good point, because also from the investigation we did ourselves in 2013, towards the end, we could see that our old credit card policy was just not very tight. Yeah, the old credit card policy was not specifically saying that people could not use the card for private use. It said that if you would use it privately, then people should pay that back through the payroll department. So people should not do that. So we changed the credit card policy. That was one of the things which came out of the report on the cost we did in 2014. And as from the 1st of May, we have a new credit card policy which very explicitly says no private purchasing, zero tolerance in that. We've asked everybody to underwrite, so they've signed the policy to really make sure that people are not using it for private use. Simultaneously, we have improved with a system called Concur, which is an automatic digital system, so that all the invoices of the credit cards, they go in an automatic system digitally to the chef. So we have a much better transparency, you would say, on the credit card usages, and that is now the new policy.
Vi har ju bland annat sett då att man har köpt kläder på företagskortet, alltså Brothers, Hugo Boss.
So that was also exactly one of the things which came out of our investigation of 2014, that we could see that there were some purchases which we wanted to understand, and the purchases which we have seen on clothing were in line with our policy, because these were gifts for people turning 50 or 60 years, and there is still until the 1st of January a company policy where people get a gift when they turn 50 or 60 with a certain amount based on the prisbasbelopp, and that was what happened over here. For your information, that policy has now gone, so as from the 1st of January we don't give gifts anymore from the company when people are turning 50 and 60. I think this is also another example where we have to modernize the way we work in Arla. This is something which was maybe very much practiced in the 70s and 80s. I don't think that as a modern employer anymore, we don't need to do that to express our gratitude to people who are working over here and who are having
de här
their
kläderna
holiday.
Som har blivit inköpta, det är alltså presenter till människor?
Yes. For their 50 and 60 or 60th birthday, people can, and the manager of these people, they can choose up to a certain amount of money to buy a present, and that can be many things. And for these occasions, they have bought a clothing or something like that.
Okej, så den här kostnaden från Brothers då på för 2793 kronor. Det är alltså en present till någon.
Well, I hope you excuse me that I don't know all the invoices, but they're very strict policies. And out of the cost reports we did in 2014, it was very clear that all the presents we had bought were within the guidelines of presents. Then I don't know all the details of all the individual invoices. I hope you excuse me with that I don't know everything.
Informationen om vad vi skulle fråga er om.
Yeah, I have not had all the details. Yeah, but I have not looked into all the details. I think it's more important to say, look, we have a policy at the moment.
Du har ju fått frågorna. Inköpet på Brothers, vad var det? Du har ju fått alla våra frågor. Ja. Vad var inköpet på Brothers för 2793 kronor? Vem var det?
But it could well be that it is two people who became 50. I mean, I
Alltså
would
om ni ska
not.
hålla er till basbeloppet på 450 så är det ju 5 personer.
That could also well be.
Så Christer Stenström har köpt 50-årspresenter för 5 personer på Brothers.
Yeah, but you have to. So I would like to come back. We have a policy at the moment for 50 and 60-year-old people who become 50 or 60. Yeah, and that policy is based on the prisbelopp. Yeah, so all the presents which have been bought, we've checked also in this 2014 report, which you've got, and we can say tick on all of them that they were all right. If there are other invoices which are maybe not related to the 50 and 60 year, but there are maybe something else that I don't know. But I can reassure our owners that the gifts we have given to people turning 50 or 60 have all been checked and are within the policy. I can also say to the owners that has been cancelled as from the 1st of January. Okay. We don't have that anymore.
Men först säger du att det här är en present. Sen säger du att du inte vet vad det här är. Och sen säger du att ni har kontroll. Alltså,
well, yeah, you tell me, you throw in a few invoices. I'm the MD of Arla. You cannot expect me to know each single invoice of this company. Yeah, that is a bit unfair, I think.
So, jag har fått information om vad det är vi tänker fråga.
So I think that we were talking about presents, and I can reassure you there is
a... företagskort och hur de har använts.
Yeah, so
och det ser ut som det har använts privat.
No, that is not. So if things have been bought privately, we know that in 2014, before the change of the policy, so the policy has changed on the 1st of May. So we know that in 2014 there have been people who have been buying things privately and that they have paid it back to the payroll. Yeah, and that is something I don't like. I don't like that people are able to buy private things on a company credit card. I think that is poor. I think that is poor.
Tillåter privata inköp på företagskort.
No, exactly. So when I saw that in 2014 coming out of the whole investigation, we said that is not good. We need to change that. Yeah. So as from the 1st of May 2015, we've changed that. Zero tolerance on private purchases. But I also am responsible for the period beforehand. So we went back and we said, okay, all the people who have used this privately, and it's a handful of people, have to actually pay back all these private purchases. So if the example you are just mentioning is a private purchase, I don't know, but then you can be rest assured that money has come back to Arla.
Ni har alltså suttit med varje kortinnehavare, gått igenom faktura för faktura och försökt reda ut.
You have done that, or?
Nej, jag frågar, har ni gjort det? Var det det
du menade? We have looked in the cost investigation we did in 2014, early 15, at company credit cards, and we could see that there were also from the payroll administration that there were people who were using the credit card too often for private, and it can happen once, it can happen twice in an emergency situation. We are a company which also has certain values. If somebody is out there and it's a crisis situation, I think that is something we tolerated, but not if this happens too much. So we've addressed that, and as from the 1st of May 2015, there's a new policy which has a zero tolerance on private use of cards. But I can only also confirm that the money has been paid back by the individuals who have used the credit card privately. So I would say it was a poor policy.
När har det blivit betalat tillbaka?
Yeah, already within a month. The policy is that people need to pay back private purchases within a month. Otherwise, the card is being clipped.
Nej, men när har de betalat tillbaka för de här privata inköpen?
Yeah, that depends on when they bought them. So I think the message is very important to say, look, before the 1st of May 2015, there was a policy which was not crystal clear on private purchases. People have, I can confirm, because that's coming from the same report as you have seen, I can confirm that people have been using the card privately. I also can confirm that people have paid back that money privately as from the 1st of May, because I don't like people to use a company credit card privately. As from the 1st of May, there's a zero tolerance, and also as of 1st of May, but that has now been completely implemented in October, all the Like it should, yes, like it should.
Som det fungerar på alla andra företag.
Yeah, but Valerie,
utom på alla.
what I did, I started 2014. I looked at a lot of different areas. I can even see you have the credit card tabs over there. But I looked at a lot of different areas, and cost and cost culture was one of the things where I didn't feel that I, as an MD, could stand in front of our farmer owners and say we have this 100% under control. And that's why we started
Just det här
with
med
this
att inte ha
project.
kontroll. Vi har ju en person här som har gjort inköp i princip som det ser ut varje månad på saker som inte kan förklaras, som är Arla-relaterade. Alltså det är inköp på Systembolaget där han bor, inköp i mataffär, det är alltså leksaker, det är en resa till London till hans dotter, det är alltså kontantuttag i juli i Turkiet på en turistdestination. Alltså varför har ni tillåtit Arla att betala för detta?
Unacceptable.
Ja.
Yeah, so we have taken care of that. I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm not going to go into details because I'm also here the employer of people.
Men hur har ni tagit hand om detta?
Because this was poor cost culture, that we were not fast enough in addressing these things. So this is a case which came from the same report as you have seen, and we said no, this cannot be the case. Why have we not addressed it earlier? That's a good question. I think it's a broader question, which is why did Arla have such a poor cost culture? I'm not going to reflect back, I'm only going to reflect forward. I saw that we had a poor cost culture in Arla. This is a very good example. I don't like it either at all.
Nej, du behöver inte gilla dem, men varför har bönderna stått för den här personens leksaksinköp? Sportkanaler,
I just told you.
Restaurangbesök i Turkiet.
Yeah. Arlas bönderna have not paid for that. This specific example has been paid back already last year.
När?
Already last year, but
Månad för månad, eller?
yeah, that's a detailed question. I'm not able to. But I asked to get a reconfirmation whether this has all been paid back, and I get a positive confirmation from the payroll that this has been paid back. But that doesn't take the problem away. I don't think it is okay for people to use the credit cards privately.
Vilket de har gjort.
Which they have done in 2014. And then in the investigation, which you also have seen, I started to ask, is it possible? And unfortunately, in the policy, we were not crystal clear that this was not allowed. The policy said you need to use the credit card for company purchases, but if you use it privately, you need to pay that back to the
Det låter som
payroll.
väldigt mycket jobb att man ska sitta varje månad.
Yeah, exactly. That's costing administration, it's costing people's time. So, on the 1st of May, there's a new policy, zero tolerance, no usage of the credit card for private use.
Och den här personen säger du har betalat tillbaka pengarna.
Yes.
Jag skulle gärna vilja se det.
I think you have had a lot of information about private people over here. I, as an employer, have also to follow the PUL lagen. So that's much more important.
Som är av personligt, som går under personuppgiftslagen. Men jag skulle vilja se
I think you have had something like 10,000 documents, all the credit card transactions of Arla. You have seen all the postings in SAP. You have had a lot of information from Arla, and I'm not going to give more individual information out. But the only thing is, I can reassure you that has been paid back.
Jag tror faktiskt inte på dig.
Okay, no, that is that's your judgment. That's not my judgment. Yeah.
En annan sak som ni har haft, det är ju den här företagsgolfen. Kan du berätta lite om den?
Yeah, so we are a company with a lot of different customers across the country, and I think per se it is creating value for our owners if we present our products to our customers, and we take the time to show them what Arla can help with when we're looking at developing a category in a store or developing a restaurant business. So I think it's good in creating value for Arla's farmers when we are meeting customers. Then you talk about a golf tournament which we annually have, which I think is too expensive. And I think it's also a little bit old-fashioned to go playing golf, and this amount I think is outrageous. And it's one of the things which came out of the 2014
Vem
cost
var på den här golfen?
customers.
Okej, vilka exakt?
Now that I think is a private matter between the company and those customers. But if I'm not misunderstanding, you have gotten exactly all the list of the customers who were there. But I don't think that is the main point. I think the main point really is that we went out with customers on a golf tournament, and we had presentations. We played golf, but there was also quite some alcohol involved in the after the dinner.
Vi kommer till det. Men alltså det jag skulle vilja
But
prata
it's good
med
that you
dig
have seen
om
the same stuff as I've seen.
det jag skulle vilja prata med dig om är ju att förutom då att ni bjöd på den här golfen, ni bjöd på boende, ni bjöd på, som du själv säger, mycket alkohol. Ni har även gjort inköp här på någonting som heter Abacus. Vet du vad det är?
Nej.
Det är en butik som säljer golfkläder.
Right.
Så ni har alltså köpt golfkläder också till era kunder då, antar jag?
What I remember is that there was an in the 2014 report, but this is quite a long time ago because I saw the first version I think in December last year, that in these golf tournaments there was prize winners, and that there was money related to prize winners getting a first, a second, third and fourth prize, or the longest, I don't know exactly, but this I checked it as well because I wanted to be really sure that we are also staying within the legal boundaries of what is allowed within the Swedish law when you are entertaining customers. So I've got the reinsurance. I've got the reinsurance that this was prize money, but I can agree with you because again it's something which came out of our own cost investigation from 2014 that we were spending too much money on this golf tournament, and then we can take this really down. And this is again something I cannot stand in front of 200 Arla farmers and say that when we do this kind of golf tournament for this kind of amount, that this is the best way to invest money for Arla's farmers. I think it's important to see customers. I think it's important to talk with them, to show them our products, to show them our plans. But playing golf for an
men köpa golfkläder som de kan ha.
Now for a price this was, but why do we need to buy prizes? We have nice products as well, which we could.
Golfgrepp för 4 000 kronor.
But I think it's the same.
De här kläderna som ni
I think it's the same topic, that we should be with our customers. We should present our products, but spending this kind of money is not something I can explain or even want to explain towards our farmers. So I think our farmers should have the trust that we are taking care of this, and that we are not going to spend money in this kind of way, and that we have saved 10 million SEK already in 2015. That's the first step. There's more to come.
Så att jag vet det. Vi kan gå vidare nu. Du vet att de här företagen som är då bland annat hotellkedjan Scandic, grossisten Menigo, grossisten Kobia som ju är kunder till er, de har ju egna policies när det kommer till givande och tagande av gåva. Känner du till vilka policies de har?
No, you have to ask them what kind of policies they have.
Vet du vems ansvar det är att känna till de policyerna innan man bjuder in till någon?
No, I think we have our own policies over here, and it was exactly the same question I had after I was seeing these kind of events, and there's a few more than this. So I think it's really important to know that we are following our own policies, and that we're also staying within the legal boundaries we have for this.
Okay. Enligt Menigo så har de ju en policy som säger att anställda på Menigo får acceptera gåvor från leverantörer, kunder eller andra affärskollegor, förutsatt att gåvan inte överstiger 500 SEK per tillfälle. Och när det kommer till Scandic så säger de ju att de följer praxis som finns i näringslivskoden. Och den känner du säkert till, eller hur? Här står det ju till exempel när det kommer till att ge förmåner.
I think it is important if you... but if you have questions about Menigo or...
Nej, jag har inte frågor när det kommer till Menigo. Jag har frågor när det gäller att ni bjuder in Menigo.
We need to do things which we think are following our own codes, and we should be doing things which are lodged. which are logical. And
Vi ska läsa lite från
I don't.
kod.
Yeah, you can do that. I don't think that that even within the code, I think we should be very, very sparse. I think you say in Swedish. So we should be really looking at the kind of money we spend, even if it is allowed within a code or within a register. I think there's a lot of saving potential for Arla's farmers, and that we should not do these sort of things in this kind of way.
Om vi läser lite från er egen kod här, kod som heter då Anti-Bribery Directive för Arla, så står det ju: the lesser the degree of an event's business-related elements, such as presentations or training in comparison to its leisure or entertainment aspects, the greater the risk of the hospitality continuing a bribe.
So I had the same questions as you have, based on the 2014 report we made, and said, okay, is this something which is staying within the legal boundaries? So I have asked Sauvage advocater to look at these kind of instances, and they confirmed to me that we have stayed on the right side, but they also confirm that it is money which is not well spent. And I'm more disappointed that that we are having these kind of high cost, because I'm thinking all the time about how can we create value for our farmers, and I cannot just stand for this cost in the right way. And it's unfortunate that it's a small in small areas of the business where we have not, or I have not really managed to completely get everything sorted out within the first year when I started. We've saved 10 million SEK.
Ja, du har sagt det flera gånger.
Yeah, but you don't do that like.
Jag är medveten om detta.
Yeah, but that's also a bit of a signal that we actually have saved a lot of money. But this is not good. Yes, I do. I do respond to your question.
Vet du att det är ditt ansvar att känna till policyn för de andra företagen?
Well, it's my responsibility to know when we are signing contracts with companies. And my own policy.
När ni bjuder in till såna här event.
Yeah.
Att ta reda på de andra
it is my responsibility to know the law, and it is my responsibility to make sure that we stay within the law.
Men det är ditt ansvar att ta reda på deras policies, vilket du själv säger att du inte känner till.
No, I'm saying that it's my responsibility to make sure that Arla stays within the law of Sweden.
Ja. Vi har pratat med
and of course it's my responsibility.
Och när de hör om det här, om priset för detta event och om er egen policy och om de andra företagens policy, och till och med att en av vdarna på de inbjudna företagen inte ens kände till att hans chefer var inbjudna till detta, och säger att om han hade vetat det så skulle han inte låtit dem åka. När Institutet mot mutor hör om detta så säger de att det är ytterst tveksamt att man gör så här. Vad tycker du om det?
I don't want to think. I want to act on the facts. Yeah, so the facts over here is that I did an investigation. I had the same questions as you, so I asked our law company Sauvage to do an investigation of all the cases where I felt let's say in doubt, and so far I've only heard that yes, Henri, it is a lot of money which you cannot completely explain to the farmers, but you're staying outside of the danger zone. That is the facts I have right now.
Kan du förstå att det här, utifrån den fakta jag har, kan du förstå att det här ser ut som en misstänkt muta?
No, I can understand that our farmers, when they hear this kind of amounts, are unhappy with the amount of money which we're spending on that. That I can absolutely underline.
Men det är inte det jag frågar. Jag undrar, kan du förstå att det här ser ut som
en misstänkt muta? No, but I want to come back to where the facts are. I don't want to speculate.
Du vill inte svara på min fråga helt enkelt.
No, but I give you an answer. I've had the same questions as you have. I have asked my law firm to look at all these cases and give me an how do you call it, an investigation, an answer, or is this a risk or not? And the facts I've gotten, and we're looking at the same cases, are no, this is not a risk. We have stayed within the framework of the law within Sweden. So,
Men
and
det
that is for
stämmer
me,
inte.
but that is for me the facts, and you can speculate, you can ask other questions,
Det
but
stämmer
the
inte
facts.
utifrån er egen policy, det stämmer inte utifrån de inbjudna företagens policy, det stämmer inte enligt institutet mot mutor. Hur kan...
So the legal framework in this area is quite complicated. It's not 100% how do you say that, so clear as what you try to describe over here. So that's a legal advice which I've asked, and that's a legal advice which I trust for, and I think it's for me important as an MD that I'm not going to speculate on things. What do you think? What could we do? And that I say, look, I have a law firm which I've asked to look into these cases, because there were also other things where I was not happy, and so far they've only confirmed there's a lot of spending in here, but you stay on the right side of the law.
Om vi går vidare då. Du köpte ju en resa till Paris till din fru. Hur kommer det sig?
Yeah, so I sit in the board of DLF. DLF is the Swedish Association for Branded Goods Manufacturers, and we meet a number of times per year in the board. And in 2014, DLF invited all the board members and their spouses for a board meeting in Paris. So all the spouses were invited, plus the board members. So I was there from Friday until Saturday evening, where we had the board meeting. And my initial judgment was that since it was work related, I represent Arla over there, and there was an official invitation from DLF that the cost of the ticket, because the rest was paid by DLF, that the cost of the ticket of my wife was work related. So Arla bought the ticket. I didn't charge Arla. Arla bought that ticket for my wife. And then you called me when I was on the holiday in autumn, and you made me think. I said, okay, this can give people to misinterpret my intentions in this. So I decided after we called, I said, okay, I'll pay this myself, because this is something I don't want to be misunderstood. So
du hade inte betalat tillbaka om inte jag hade ringt?
So but I mean, thank you for that. You made me see that this was something which could be misunderstood by people, and that I don't want to have when I'm changing the cost culture of Arla. So my initial judgment was that this was work related, and that she traveled there related to my work. But I think after you...
På vilket sätt är det jobbrelaterat att din fru följer med dig till Paris?
No, but I think my initial judgment was that this was work related travel based on official invitation from DLF. But
det var ju inget
made me...
krav att respektive skulle följa med på något sätt.
No, but there was an official invitation from DLF for all the board members plus their spouses for a board meeting in Paris.
Om man ville ta med sig en respektive eller inte. Det var ju helt och hållet upp till varje styrelsemedlem.
No, nobody is being forced to go there with their spouse. Yeah, so my initial judgment was that this was work related. I work a lot for DLF, and there was a long meeting on both the Friday and the Saturday morning, and my initial judgment was that this was work related, but you made me realize after you called me that this could be misinterpreted by people, and that is something I don't like. So then I decided to pay this myself. So I've paid I asked the payroll, if you want to know all it is, after payroll to do a deduction on my salary, and that has been executed.
Det här med att det är arbetsrelaterat. Du får ju en vd-lön som är ungefär 500 000 kronor i månaden. Tycker du inte att du hade kunnat betala själv för din frus Parisresa?
Well, I totally agree that my salary is very high. It's a lot of money. That's something I did not decide myself. That was actually Arla who offered that to me in order to come to Arla. So I think that is a different question. It's got nothing to do with the trip to Paris, which I did on behalf of DLF. But that's also not really solving the issues we should be talking about, or the issues I should be worried about. You know, it's my most important task is to help Swedish farmers to get a higher milk price, and that's what I should be focusing on, to sell more. Yeah, to sell more and get costs down.
Du pratar om kostnadskultur, och samtidigt så tycker du att det är fullt rimligt att Arlas bönder ska stå för din frus Parisresa, och du betalar inte tillbaka förrän jag ringer och påpekar detta.
So my initial judgment was that since it was all work related, that it was Arla who paid for that. You made me realize that this could be misunderstood. I thank you for that, and therefore I decided, without anybody asking me, that it was better for me to pay this money back to Arla. So reduction of my salary has been done somewhere to pay for this.
Men du kommer inte på det förrän jag påpekar det.
Sorry, no, but I did not realize it myself, and in that sense, it was really good that you asked that question. I'm not judging over here, but I don't want people to have a misperceiving on what this was, and therefore I decided immediately, okay, I pay this back.
Mm. Du vet att en Parisresa till sin fru är ju en skattepliktig förmån. Mm. Mm. Har du betalat skatt för det här?
Ja.
Mm. Då skulle jag gärna vilja se det.
But you think you ask a little bit of private, I mean, you ask a lot of very private questions. I can tell you that I've paid tax on that.
Ja, du säger det, men jag skulle gärna vilja se det ändå. Alltså, om
yeah,
du
but
har
you
det,
think it's a little bit strange, but that's a matter of principle as well. I think it's a little bit strange that you want to see my tax declaration. I know that privacy in Sweden goes maybe less far than in Holland, where I come from.
Jag pratar om principer när det kommer till vad ni har lagt era pengar, alltså era ägares pengar på.
Look, I can confirm to you and to our owners and to the tax authorities that I've paid tax on this trip, and that should be enough. I mean, if I'm being trusted, I think so. If I'm being trusted to be responsible for this big company, then exactly, then I think I should be trusted if I say that I paid my taxes, and that is then also maybe a matter between me and the tax authorities to, if they want to see exactly where that sits in my tax declaration.
Men du tycker
I think you can understand that. Don't you think so? Sorry.
Du tycker att jag ska ta ditt ord för det?
Yes. Yeah, and in particular our farmers and the tax authorities. Well, the tax authorities don't need to take my word for it; they can see it themselves.
Mm. Ni har ju också i er egen policy skrivit så här när det kommer till att ge gåvor, gifts and hospitality. Spouses and other family members should not attend unless paying for themselves. Gäller inte det dig?
No, that is back to what is my initial judgment is that this was a trip on behalf of DLF, and I'm working for Arla within the DLF. So my initial judgment was that this was work related, and you made me see that this was something which could be misunderstood, and therefore I paid that ticket myself. Thank you very much for that.
Mm. Du får ju en vd-lön på 500 000 kronor i månaden.
Yes, that's a lot of money. I totally agree.
Du tyckte att det var vettigt att bönderna skulle betala för din frus Parisresa?
No, that was my initial judgment, and I did not want that to be misunderstood, and therefore I made the decision to pay that back myself as soon as we had the telephone call.
Mm. När var det först du insåg att pengar inte användes på rätt sätt inom Arla?
When I started, I decided to talk to 60 people in Arla, Sweden. So I did 61-hour interviews, and I asked everybody, what do you think are the strengths of this company, but also what are the weaknesses of this company? And some people started to mention that one of the weaknesses was cost culture. So after a number of months, I started to see, okay, is there something in here? And I could see that there were a lot of areas which could be improved. No, that was somewhere just before the summer of 2014. So after the summer of 2014, we started with a big cost project. It took a little bit of time, the first 2 months, to get really going. Then we decided to take also an external consult. To help us with this.
Jag känner till allt detta.
Yeah, I know you have everything. That is absolutely true.
Det jag undrade är ju då, eftersom du kände till det här redan sommaren 2014.
Yes.
Så ni har ju ändå gått ut på alla era kanaler till era ägare, mjölkbönderna, och hävdat att ni har full koll på kostnaderna. Ni vänder på varje krona. Det står ju så här i juli 2015. Vi ser hela tiden över kostnaderna. Det står i augusti 2015. Arla har hela tiden haft stenhård kontroll på kostnaderna.
So it's important for our owners to understand that in 2014 we started with this cost journey. I'm proud that we saved 10 million SEK in 2015 on travel, conferences and representation. That was a 20% reduction already in the first year we really started to deliver on the cost program. So I think it is important for our owners to hear that they are doing something, in particular after 2014, when the high milk price went to a very low milk price in 2015, that people are seeing that we're making progress. But I'm also, as you probably are well aware of in the debate article, I'm not happy with where we are. So we have said, okay, we will save even a bigger amount. This is not only travel and entertainment and conferences, but we are going to save 100 million SEK over 2015 to 16. That was an important message because that goes much further. That goes into transportation, into our factories, into marketing.
Men du säger att ni har implementerat kostnadseffektivitet, men bara för några månader sedan så bjöd ni flera hundra ICA-handlare på en 3-rättersbankett. Eller hur?
No.
Det stämmer inte.
No, I think what you mean is that we were a sponsor, one of the 15 sponsors to an ICA golf tournament. And this was where, but this is quite an important event because we have indeed a lot of ICA store owners, and all these ICA store owners are customers to Arla, and we got the kind of photos. We had a big monter, I think you call it in Swedish, with all the Arla products. We got a chance to show all the ICA owners the kind of products we are launching, the kind of development of the products, and we could do some presentations there as well. So I think that's a very effective way actually to communicate with customers. So that is an example of something where it was, in my opinion, money well spent given the journey we are on.
Och den här golftävlingen som vi pratade om tidigare, den hade ni i år igen.
Yeah, so at a lower cost, if I'm right, but I don't like it. I think we should.
Men du är ju VD.
Yeah, so.
Du kan ju säga, vi ska inte bjuda på golftävlingar, vi ska inte köpa golfkläder, vi ska inte köpa golftillbehör till våra anställda och våra kunder.
I'm the VD of Arla Foods. That's quite a big company with 4,000 people. I would say that in big parts of Arla Foods we have been able to start changing the cost culture, but you know, the debate article would not have gone out if I would have been if I would have done it everywhere. If everything would be completely right and solved, and I would be the happiest man in the world. There's still small parts in Arla where the message has not come through, and I think having a golf tournament, even if it is at a lower cost, I think it's something we should really question, because again, is that money well spent? Could we not have done something more modern? Golf, I think, is something from the 80s or the 90s.
Ni bjuder på banketter, ni bjuder på lyxrestauranger, ni bjuder på allt från golfutrustning till kläder till sprit. Vad är det för kostkultur ni har här?
Let's keep us to the facts. So we did we did a cost investigation in 2014. We found a lot of things which we have taken out. Yeah, we have saved 10 million SEK. Yeah, a lot of the examples you're mentioning are indeed from 2014, where we started to implement. I'm happy on one hand with the progress we made in 2015, but I'm not happy because we're not completely there yet. So there still needs to be more work on improved policies, more work on getting our people trained, more work on the cost culture itself, and more focus on our leaders really getting responsible. That's why I've also asked Ernst & Young to come in. Those are our new accountants, and they have looked over. Now you need to let me finish. They've looked over our policies. No, but they've looked over our policies. They've said you have done a great improvement, but they've also said there's still some things in 2015, and you mentioned one of them, which are not okay yet. And that is now my task also when we look at 2016. is to come completely out of things which are not, will this journey ever end? Now, I think you will always find improvements in cost, in particular when it is a farmer-owned company.
Så för att summera då, ni har alltså låtit er själva bli bjudna på event och presenter. Ni har bjudit era kunder på event och presenter som enligt flera experter skulle kunna vara både skattebrott och mutbrott. Och allt detta har ni gjort på era ägares, böndernas pengar.
I would say I think my conclusion is that when I started as an MD, I cannot look back. I found an Arla culture which was not good enough in the cost, and that is something I cannot explain to our farmers, and therefore we have started with this cost journey. We have saved 10 million. We have really sharpened our routines and processes. We even got an external accountant, Ernst & Young, to look over all of this. And then there were some question marks for myself as well. Have we always stayed within the right side of the law? And that's why I've also, and that's also a cost, I've asked Zetterwas Advocaten to come in and to look at all the events where we had some sort of doubt, and I got an okay from them. That doesn't take away that we are spending too much money, and that I really believe that as a farmer-owned company we should be able to stand up in front of 200 farmers, or maybe 20, have it really tough and have discussions with their banks because they cannot pay their loans back. I should be able to stand and say, look, we really make sure that the money we spend over here is well spent. And that feeling I did not have in 2014. I have much more of that feeling in 2015, but I cannot say that it is completely over. It's a big company, it takes time. In 2016 we take the last step. Yeah? I think we're ready.
En sista fråga som inte har kommit fram här, och det är ju alla dessa mellanchefer som har varit med, Arlas mellanchefer, som har varit med och spelat golf och fått sig lite gratis golfutrustning och liknande på Arlas bekostnad. Har de skattat för dessa skattepliktiga förmåner varje månad detta sker?
I would say that's a question we need to ask them if you want to have an answer on that. I cannot. Sorry?
Ni har ju förbjudit dem att prata med oss.
No, but I would ask them, but that's a private matter for them. How everybody is handling their own tax return.
Är det inte ditt ansvar att era anställda betalar skatt?
Yeah, but not on their private skatt.
Jo, yeah? det är Arlas ansvar.
Om de får presenter av er som är skattepliktiga förmåner, så är det ju ert ansvar att de betalar skatt för det.
De har
Okay. They have paid tax on that.
Bra, då kan vi väl få se det också.
För alla saker som kan anses vara egna utgifter.
För golfeventen.
Ja.
Okay.
Samtliga Arla.
Okay. Valeria, thank you very much. Who needs to take
Daniel, vi har ju många fler frågor som du är medveten om, så vi behöver få svar på dem också.
Okay.
Så har du förberett svar på dem? Du har ju fått dem. Ni fick ju alla våra frågor i tisdags.
Ja.
Så att,
men är det inte precis, men kan inte du i så fall bara skicka de frågorna som du känner att du inte har fått svar på idag?
Nej, men vi är ju här nu. Vi kan ju lika gärna ta dem en gång. Alltså ni har ju ändå förberett för de här frågorna, så att vi tar det nu.
But I have a next meeting, Valeria, so that's I need to leave.
Right.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Så,
Thank you.
vi kan väl bara ta det nu.
Vi trodde faktiskt att det var att ni snälla skickade över alla de frågorna ungefär som ni ville fråga om.
Ja, men vi har ju inte hunnit igenom ens
hälften. Vill ni ha specifika så kan vi absolut återkomma då, men vi är inte beredda på att göra det här nu.
Men ni har ju fått frågorna.
Det är ju
så.
Ja, men om ni har fått frågorna så måste ni ha förberett svar.
Nu svarar jag.
Hej då.
Du kommer få svar.
Varför kan vi inte få svar nu?
Jag sa just det. Vi har inte förberett det här nu. Vi har andra saker att göra. Vi skulle köra fram i 45 minuter vad det vi lovade. Så vi återkommer igen.
Det är ju fredag eftermiddag.
Ja, vi jobbar med det.
Ja, det gör vi också.
Ja. Men varför frågar du att jag jobbar eller inte då?
Nej, men alltså vi har ju sagt att vi behöver svar på de här
frågorna. Då får du respektera mig. Du kan ju inte säga att jag inte jobbar för det fredag eftermiddag.
Det har ju... Jag har inte sagt det. Men Daniel, du har ju fått alla mina frågor.
Ja, men vi gör så här.
Så hörs vi på mejlen sen.
Vi gör så här. Skicka de frågorna som ni inte har fått svar på till mig, så löser vi självklart det.
Såklart.
Men självklart, absolut.
Okej. Det kan man ställa sig och packa upp.
Tack för det. Tack. Det är bara att skicka på mig. Tack så mycket. Tack så mycket.
Men får jag bara lov att säga en sak. Du har ju dem på mig. För vi skickade dem i tisdag. Så det är inga nya frågor utan det är de som vi inte hann med nu. Som var mer vissa specifika. Bara som ett exempel. Till exempel det här procentkortet på golfaffären då med. Som ett exempel.
Jo, men det enklaste är bara om ni skickar dem alltså, som ni känner att ni inte har fått svar på.
Men
så tar vi tag i det.
Ja, men vi kopierar och skickar igen då. Det är inte mer med det.
Det är bra.
Ja, men bra. Tack.
Tackar. Hitta ner.
Ja, absolut. Tack för hjälpen.
Tack.
Jag vet inte vad man gör med det.
Nej.
Skit i det. Sätt ner.
Där. Den då. Då ska vi se.
Alltså jag stänger av den här nu.
Ja. Kan du göra. Vill du packa ner själv eller
Jag
ska
kan
vi
packa
göra
ner själv
något?
så kan ni...
Är det säkert?
Ja, precis. Eftersnackar ni.
Men det gör vi inte här inne. Undrar om man kan med och ställa glaset här.
Ja, det kan man.
Förr i tiden hade jag haft en after ansvarsintervju-cigarett med Stina.
Det är precis
den sidan. Stina Fischer var min researcher. Så man kom ut och var helt så bara här, ta en cigarett. Det var ganska skönt.
Så jag behöver Lypsyl så jävla illa. Mina läppar är helt...
Du får väl stanna, eller du får köpa det på centralen.
Nej men jag har ju det i väskan.
Ja. Jag vet, jag är ju helt beroende och det värsta är egentligen att man går cold turkey på det. Bara
men det är ju
vinter.
vinter.
Såriga och jävliga och sen behöver du inte Lypsyl med. Sen klarar du det.
Men det är ju vintern liksom.
Ja,
det blir så jävla torrt.
Men man ska låta börna låta bli. För att man hindrar ju läpparnas egen naturliga fuktighetsproduktion liksom. Ja, jag säger inte. Det är lätt att göra så. Jag säger bara att det är så de säger att man ska göra. Jag är ju helt beroende av serat. Inte Lypsyl däremot. Är det ditt glas här Mats eller på kanten? Ja.
Mm.
Den tar du eller?
Ja.
Denna tar jag.
Det nyhetsrapporteringen om stormen Helga. Dagens invigning av julstaden i Göteborg har ställts in. Christmas is literally cancelled.
Men det var ju det jag berättade för dig.
Och det var min kompis som skrev det.
Ja, men jag berättade. Jag
sa ju det.
satt ju och läste det förut. Det var ju så nervöst att vi kan... Ja, de spelar fan länge fortfarande. Ja, det blir det.
Man ska inte dansa.
Va?
Så tanka biljäveln också.
Ja, när vi är inne.
Ja, vi har 1,5 timme.
Ja. Tycker jag de borde ha som service att man inte behöver tanka.
Jag tycker, men det har de ju, men det kostar 800 spänn eller vad det är plus. Ja. Så att det är ju en service, men den är dyr.
Ja, men det var dyrt.
Vet du någonstans eller? Jag frågar receptionen.
Ja, kom igen.
Jag går dit så länge då.
Ja.
Men du vänta lite. Nej, han har 2 grejer. Vi tar det.
Sen är
Nej,
jag klarar det här.
Jaha.
Så. Och det där. Ja, det där.
Det får plats i den eller?
Jag tar det.
Eller? Men kan du ta detta det du har där?
Alltså jag kan ta det lilla stativet.
Det här väger ingenting.
Nej. Vi går och kollar med receptionen.
Så. Ja.